So, this is going to be a behavior analysis that companies can learn from based on Chanel as a brand. The reason I chose Chanel was because of its vast history and the fact that it's still flourishing 100 years later. As you can see in the middle, the Chanel monogram, which obviously stands for Coco Chanel, considering it's two C's interlocking. This monogram is printed on every single product that Chanel sells. The brand Chanel was founded in Paris, France in 1910 by Gabrielle Coco Chanel, who's pictured to the right. Now, Chanel grew up in complete poverty in orphanages, and there was really no reason for her company to succeed as well as it did and actually become classified as a luxury brand in the fashion world. Now, her main focus is making investment pieces that are timeless and will be in fashion for a long time. What this means is that she's making pieces that you can buy and still wear decades later. So I went ahead and created this user persona type. And this is based on Chanel's ideal consumer. And in my opinion, these are women 25 to 40. They're career women. And the reason they're buying Chanel is because she exemplifies the working woman, the successful career woman. They want to be like her. They idolize her. Now, these ladies live in cities or high-end suburbs, anywhere that's really a nice area. And their goals are to have successful careers, luxurious lifestyles, and they really have a love and need for nice things. But they don't like companies with a lack of diversity. They don't like poorly made products, and they don't like products that are not vegan, because these women are definitely the humanitarian type. They prefer social media because they are the younger generation and they are the women that are used to being on social media all day. I would say that their qualities are that they're super ambitious, successful, and sophisticated women, and they want their fashion to show this about themselves. They are women with a love for luxury and they want sustainable fashion because, again, they're humanitarians. They collect fashion as art rather than clothing. I'd say that these women are fearless and then they are motivated by power and social status. The quote I chose from that is one from Coco herself. And the quote is, "The most courageous act is to still think for yourself aloud." And again, I chose this quote because I believe that these women idolize Coco for her huge business success.
I gave a few reasons as to why people are buying Chanel in my user persona profile. But there are a few steps to the consumption process that really changes the way that a person looks at their buying experience. The first step is finding a need to buy. And I really wanted to highlight two reasons that I feel like buying Chanel is a wise consumer decision. And I know we spoke before about how the women in the user persona really idolize Chanel as a successful businesswoman. But if we were to not consider Chanel at all as the face of Chanel, people would be buying Chanel for the fact that the products can be customized to their wants and needs. Or these consumers are willing to invest a lot of money into high quality production that uses the highest quality materials. After finding the need to buy, the consumer decides to buy, and their buying experience needs to be memorable and positive. The way Chanel makes the buying experience positive is with the highest quality customer service, which, for example, includes giving the consumer snacks and alcoholic beverages as they shop. It's really natural to feel a buyer's remorse when buying an expensive product. But the reason that Chanel's customers aren't returning their expensive purchases is because they know they have invested in a product that will not go out of style. There are two types of value influences: the utilitarian values and the hedonic values. Utilitarian values are a consumer's attitude towards a product based on pleasure or pain. And the way Chanel utilized this value was by going vegan in 2018. Chanel didn't want their consumers to look at their products and think of animals in pain. Because in this generation, that is a true make or break buying decision, is whether or not the company is vegan. Now, the hedonic value is a consumer's fantasy when it comes to the interactions with products. Chanel really wants to feed their consumer the fantasy of fame and fortune, and they do this by having celebrities like Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid advertise their products to create symbolic wealth and fame. And you can see in the images to the right of Kendall and Gigi modeling Chanel. Speaking of a positive purchase experience, studies have shown that consumer learning has been a huge construct in the consumer behavior for 50 years. Buyers of Chanel are learning that buying Chanel is a positive experience, which will make them want to go back and buy more. To bring up the celebrity endorsement again, this is what's really going to trigger implicit memory. This is a memory that comes to mind without thinking about that memory. But they're going to trigger that memory by using models like Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid that consumers idolize. So when they see the product in store, they're going to think, wow, Gigi wore this, or wow, Kendall wore this. That means I should wear it. So intuition is going to be a consumer's gut feeling in reaction to a product. In this case, a consumer's intuition will tell them that because Chanel makes their products using the most high-quality materials and that their products never really go out of style, they are worth the investment. The reason that Chanel targets women is because of motivation. Studies have shown that women are more motivated to buy luxury, which is a huge reason that Chanel is so successful, because women see the reasoning for investing in high-quality, expensive luxury products. I've added an image of a Chanel classic quilted bag in its boxing because I thought it was such a beautiful display of what consumers are really investing in. Personal values and hedonic values are really interlocked in the way that buying luxury is a need for power and wealth. Buying a Chanel product that is arguably the best in the world, which luxury products tend to be, like, you're not going to buy a bag from Forever 21 and a bag from Chanel and think that they're the same product. Buying a Chanel bag or a Chanel product is really mastery over a product range. Successful people buy luxury as a way to flaunt their wealth. Consumer behavior is mediated by worldviews, and in this current society, people consider wealthy people to be all around better than those of a lower class. Now, this is not my personal opinion, I just want to say that. It's more of a fact that those of a higher class, wealthier people are considered to be all around better, which leads to much better treatment. Personality is a way a person responds to his or her environment. A study on graduate students showed that luxury brands or sophisticated brands, like Chanel, are viewed as feminine. And as you can see, the image on the right is of Karl Lagerfeld, who is one of the designers of Chanel, or was. He recently passed away. And I chose this image because the dress he designed in this image seems to be the epitome of femininity for me. What's particularly interesting about this image is that Karl Lagerfeld created a feminist rally in the 2015 spring fashion show, showing that Chanel really, really values women. And speaking of women, another reason Chanel is so successful in their marketing towards women is because of emotional intelligence. Women are more likely to rationalize the need for a product and impulse buy. All Chanel really needs to do is rationalize a product to their female consumers, because women can do it very, very fast. They can really rationalize their need for something. They will think of a million reasons that they could use this product for years to come. Again, going back to the idea that Chanel really pushes celebrity endorsement, the image from left to right is of Kristen Stewart, Naomi Campbell, Janelle Monáe at the Chanel Fall 2019 runway show. Hammerell claimed that consumers may alter their beliefs about a brand based on influence of reference group. The biggest reference group in the world is celebrities. In order to maintain the exclusivity of only marketing to higher social classes, Chanel increased the price of their products because if everyone can buy Chanel, it's not as special. Back to Chanel's transformation into veganism in 2018, this goes back to ethics. Ethics are important to most consumers. That being said, according to Franco, luxury brands have a more difficult time becoming vegan because of contradictory philosophies like maintaining that high quality while using vegan products to create their products. Back to Chanel becoming the ultimate underdog. Consumers have found their own success and maybe also started from nothing, so Coco Chanel is relatable for them, and that's a reason to buy. Although Chanel doesn't sell their products online, they do have an online presence. Chanel.com creates a vintage ambiance by making their website black and white, which then inspired me to make my own presentation black and white. Their website continued that ambiance by making its first image the reimagined tweed suit, which was first created in 1923 and can be seen in the image to the left. A few slides ago, I stated that Chanel is considered a feminine brand, but they made sure to show their own diversity by including images of men in makeup on their Instagram page. They also have images of super famous models, again, that celebrity reference group, like Gigi and Kendall, all over their page. Interestingly enough, Chanel follows both their makeup account and another Instagram account called LE19M, and this account really shows the way that Chanel makes their products. And the reason for this is to emphasize the quality. These are handmade products, and shows that no animal products are being used in the making of their products. Next, I'm going to describe a series of recommendations I have for upcoming brands to learn from what Chanel has done in its history. The first recommendation I have is to include customization, and that can be done in a small way or a big way. It would be beneficial for new companies to allow some customization because nothing makes a consumer feel better than to have a product unique to them. So the image to the left is of Lady Gaga in a custom Chanel attire. My second recommendation is quality. Companies should splurge on higher quality materials to make their products. Consumers want to spend their money on high quality product that they can have for a long time, which is why they buy luxury brands like Chanel in the first place. Higher quality items make consumers feel secure in spending a lot of money on a product, meaning that they are less likely to return it. And then the image to the right is of Blake Lively, which is more celebrity endorsement. But the reason I chose this image is because of the fact that she's holding the classic quilted bag. And you can see in the image how high quality the bag is. My third recommendation is diversity. Having many claims to fame is important for brands that want to stay relevant. And I think that Chanel can really speak to staying relevant because they've been around for over 100 years. While we stated previously that Chanel is known for its androgyny, we also stated that they have the ability to make consumers feel feminine. This allows for Chanel to open their market to people of all gender. One example of this is showing men in makeup, which again we spoke about when we talked about Chanel's Instagram page. It would be advisable for new brands to show models of all genders, races, and sexualities modeling their clothing. The image to the right is of models from a recent campaign of Chanel's modeling vegan fashion, which is why my fourth recommendation is veganism. Companies should start out vegan so that they don't have to make the difficult transition that Chanel had to make 100 years later. And the reason I bring up the fact that they converted to veganism 100 years later is because once you start doing something for so long and you've mastered the way that things are done, it's so much harder to change the way you do something. As time moves forward, more and more consumers do not want to buy products that are not vegan. So it would not make sense for upcoming businesses to start out not vegan and then to have to completely change and transition to veganism later. My fifth recommendation would be to find a staple piece that your company can keep revamping and that will never go out of style. The image to the left shows Chanel's original tweed suit from over 100 years ago. And the image below is of the 2020 spring campaign tweed suit. Although it was invented almost 100 years ago, it keeps coming revamped and is even shown in a recent campaign. The Chanel tweed suit is so iconic, and any brand needs to be selling an iconic piece that will never go out of style, so that they never become irrelevant. The image to the left shows Chanel being sold in Nordstrom's flagship. Now, Nordstrom is one of the only places that carries Chanel, which is why my recommendation 6 is exclusivity. Upcoming brands should be learning from Chanel's limited purchasing places, and they should create a unique buying experience for their consumer. We already discussed the fact that Chanel serves alcohol and snacks to shoppers to make them feel at home and more positively disposed to buying a product. By only selling in their own boutiques and a few luxury department stores, they allow their brand to stay exclusive. Upcoming brands should have a purchasing process that sets them apart from all others and makes the experience of buying overall very positive. My personal example of how brands could do this is to have special offers for consumers during the buying experience. And of course, recommendation 7 is going to be the one that I spoke about the most, celebrity endorsement. I personally think that a brand should put away some business funds for celebrity endorsement. It's probably the smartest marketing plan because social media is so popular right now that everybody is following their favorite celebrities and wanting to be like them and wanting to see what they're wearing. Owning a product endorsed or worn by a celebrity will make the consumer feel closer to that fame and wealth and just closer to being that person that they idolize. The last celebrity that I put in this presentation is Billie Eilish wearing the tweed Chanel suit from the 2020 Academy Awards. Billie Eilish is probably one of the most popular female singers of this generation, with tons of young, adoring fans that once they get their own money, they are being raised to wear Chanel just because Billie wore it. I would just like to say thank you for watching this presentation. Chanel happens to be one of my favorite brands and a brand very close to my heart because I strive to be as successful in fashion as Coco Chanel. I hope that you, as new brands, found Chanel's business ventures to be a learning experience. I think it's important to use brands that are highly successful and have been around a long time as a business model for new brands. I wish you all luck in your future endeavors. So the next few pages are going to be the references that I used in this entire slideshow. And here's the second page of references and the third page of references.